Hey everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to Bitcoin. Big of the CoinsKid cruise is so far so good. For those people who remember and been with the channel for a very long time, they will remember last September I got extremely bullish on Bitcoin. We absolutely nailed that correction way back there in April when we began the ABC correction. It was a beautiful bump and run pattern. I know a lot of people thought June we was pushing up and we are going to be really bullish, but I said to you, I'm looking at the Ethereum chart. I think it's made a lower high. It's an ABC zigzag. As Confluence, a lot of people got incredibly bullish on Bitcoin in June and July, and I said no, I still think we're in the C wave, and when we found the bottom of the C wave, we identified that in 5 waves. It was a beautiful entry point right there where we jumped in. It was a bump and run pattern, absolutely amazing, and boom, we bolted and made all-time highs, and we did incredibly well. So I was just relaying the data to you. One of the key data points was in September that gave me the outlook, Bitcoin is going to be incredibly bullish and do incredibly well in 2024, was one key data point. It was the September positive return. It's the first September we'd seen that it gave a positive return, and it's so simple, and I did relay that in many videos and tweets to yourselves, that it had been the first September we'd actually seen since the previous cycle top here, basically in 2016. That was the year that preceded the blow off top in 2018. So here we are right now. Okay, we're in this massive move just as anticipated, and one key data point was giving me that warning shot to the perma bears, and this is what I'm relaying to you. The data here, if we just respect the data, just like the data there, is telling us that the year that follows this data should be very bullish, and so far it has been. Bitcoin has done incredibly well, but with that data, I'm no moon boy, I'm no moontard or whatever like that. I respect the data. If ever I see 5 waves up on any chart, I become incredibly bearish on that particular chart, and right now this is where Bitcoin is. It's in 5 wave territory. So I look to the left and I look to the right and I see altcoins that have not done that. So there, for me, they're just a catch-up scenario for Bitcoin's 5 wave move up. And typically in every single cycle towards the end of Bitcoin's 5th wave, where it begins to run out of steam, the opportunities are in altcoins, and this is why I've been relaying and showing you many altcoin setups across the board for many months here. Okay, we're doing incredibly well, because I think that this part of this cycle, if the cycle is ringing true, this is where altcoins are a very big opportunity. Okay, and so far so good. We've took some allocation in a lot of altcoins. We're doing incredibly well, and I'm looking for that journey to continue. So I think what we need to do is just kick back, relax, just see what December does for Bitcoin. If it continues to show, or gets a correction out of the way or whatever, then we are in this alt season that I anticipate will be an absolutely amazing time for myself and the CoinsKid crew. But so far so good. The data is winning, and like I've always told you, the data is boss, isn't it? Obviously price structure first, then data, but the data right here, look at that. Last year, for anyone that's been with the channel, right at the foot of the mountain right there, the bump and run, the 5 waves down, we identified that, and then we got the beautiful September return. And the last one was the year that preceded the previous cycle blow off top, where we ended that amazing run in Bitcoin in December 2017 before rolling into the bear in 2018, where we've seen that big crash right there for Bitcoin. So let's dive into the Bitcoin chart right now. But going forward, if we just respect the data, we are in blow off top territory right now. Okay, let's dive into the Bitcoin chart going forward. Okay, taking a quick look at the retail top indicator. Now this is an indicator that I created for the CoinsKid crew on CoinsKid.com website right there. You can get involved in that. Just go to the CoinsKid.com website and follow the the join up process right there. The retail top indicator is an amazing indicator. Now it doesn't guarantee that the top is in, because way back in 2017 we did get a trigger warning in November, just like we did way back here in November. Okay, that the top was close basically, and from that point, if I zoom back to 2017 in that cycle just there, which currently we seem to be mirroring with the data point from last September as well, which I relayed to you, in November we got the trigger point. Look at that, we dropped into the danger territory where exit liquidity was beginning to show up basically. So if you take a look in time, exit liquidity, retail top was just trending away as Bitcoin was coming down the stairs, people losing interest, which is obviously your retail interest. Really simple with that. And again, you just take a look at my YouTube views right now, they're going through the roof. They're back to where we were in basically 2021 territory right there. Why? Because retail is showing up right now. It's showing an interest, and this is it's just simple logic. I don't want to be a perma bear, perma bull, whatever. I'm just relaying the data to you that typically when we do start to see retail showing up like this historically, it's an indication and a sign, okay, well, retail's showing up, they think they're going to get rich, they start buying, they start investing, they start adding liquidity to the market, and this is where typically the smart money, which is what I like to think we are right now, we start to sell into the dumb money, which is what retail is. So again, it's just a warning shot. I know a lot of you turning up and you're watching the videos and the content and things like that, but you are actually, unless you've been with this channel all through the blood, despair and depression, you know, been buying the blood and the fear and the blood and depression, which is what I relay in the channel, then you are actually dumb money. So don't be dumb money. You know, don't join now buying up. Like I said to you, if you're buying at these levels right now, you're doing it wrong. Obviously, I'm looking at opportunities across the board and many altcoins, which is where I think them opportunities are, not necessarily Bitcoin. Because from here, if we take a look, and this is something I've relayed to you many times, if we take a look at this particular point in time in November, when we got the warning shot, what did Bitcoin do at that point? Well, at best, you know, he's trading roughly, when that happened, you were trading around about 10k, and then you doubled towards the end of the year in December right there. Okay, so you're seeing lots of videos and content like Michael Saylor saying Bitcoin to 13 million and things like that. You know, it's selling something to dumb money, basically, which is retail. So I'm just trying to warn you, please be careful. You know, if you're thinking of buying Bitcoin at these levels, then you are absolutely doing it wrong. You need to buy the blood, fear and depression. Obviously it can go on from here, but if it does and it repeats the previous cycle and we get the bottom top towards the end of the year, rolling into the new year here, then what will it do at best? Well, previously, when we got that warning shot in 2017, Bitcoin doubled. Okay, and at that point, when it did double from this point here, if you go back and look at the altcoins, if you look at XRP, if you look at, you know, Cardano and things like that, they absolutely went berserk. They went mental, 10, 20, 30, 40x. So this is the setup that I see. So again, you know, if you're thinking, okay, say I've got £5,000 right now, okay, and you're thinking I'm going to invest £5,000. Well, you know, you could say I'm not going to invest £5,000 in Bitcoin. What I'm going to do, because at best that will double, I will take £1,000 instead of £5,000 and I'll put it in something like Chainlink that could potentially 10x. So again, you've got a less risk, okay, to reward. Do you understand? This is something I try and relay in the channel. I'm just trying to help you save your money and reserve your capital as best you can in this channel. That's all I'm trying to do, okay? This is why for those people that have been stuck with this channel, they are reaping dividends right now. They are absolutely creaming this market because we've been buying all this blood, fear and depression, these pullbacks. We're not buying Bitcoin here, okay? We are not dumb money. We are smart money. And if you stick with the channel, I'll try and teach you how to be smart money. So if you've got £5,000, you should not be putting £5,000 into Bitcoin. Obviously, it's entirely up to you. I don't tell you what to do. But for me, you know, you've got to take that allocation and perhaps diversify that allocation into altcoins, because this is a part of the cycle where a lot of these altcoins will 10, 20, 30x at this point. If we are at the exact same point where, okay, Bitcoin should double, then you should be looking at altcoins. Really simple, okay? So again, I do think we've got extra liquidity showing up. We've got warning shots across the board, and we've got the likes of Michael Saylor saying $13 million per Bitcoin and things like that. So, you know, laser eyes and all that kind of business. Let's dive into the Bitcoin chart right now. But all I'm trying to do on this channel, please remember, is protect your capital. This is something we do, okay? Let me dive into the Bitcoin chart and see what we can see, okay? So taking a look at Bitcoin on top and Chainlink on the bottom. I've shown you this chart in comparison so many times and I'm blue in the face. I actually think that that's the top of an impulsive move just there, not that, which is where a lot of people, they get confused, okay? They look at the 4-year cycles and things like that, and they think that that is the top before rolling into the bear, and then this is the beginning of a new bull. Basically, what I think this is the beginning of an end. This is basically the final fifth wave of a larger macro cycle for Bitcoin that began in this low here, the bear market, the true bear market. I think this was a 1 into a 2 into a 3 into a 4 into a final fifth wave right there for Bitcoin. I could be wrong, obviously. I hope I am wrong. You know, there's an absolute chance that I am wrong, and that this was an ABC bear market and this was a 1 into a 2 into a 3. I've seen that count. You know, that's an even more bullish count than I can imagine. But I think you know, the stage is set that what we've got right now is the bear market, the 1, ABC 2, the 3, ABC 4, and the final fifth wave, which consists of 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And right now we're in the final fifth wave of a bigger macro move, which is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup. So you've got big macro 5 waves. Now, is there any confluence to that particular theory? Well, there is. You know, if we take a look at the Chainlink chart right now, at this point here, if you look at the bottom when I'm here, where was Chainlink topping? Well, basically at the same point, okay? And at that point, what we did, we rolled into the A, into the B. And if you take a look at that B, what was Chainlink doing? It was making a lower high. Look at that. So there's the A, there's the B. In confluence, the bull trap and the true top, which was that of an impulse for Bitcoin. Boom, we rolled into that huge crash and correction. Boom, we rolled into that huge crash and correction. So typically, you know, just as Bitcoin typically does with altcoins, Bitcoin bolted first from here in late 2022 in a 5-wave impulse, and then, you know, Chainlink was roughly 6 months later. Okay, so 6 months later, it's lagging, it's come up in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup, had a big ABC, and right now you've got some kind of 1, ABC 2, and you're going vertically, you're breaking out, you're looking like you're taking that out in a big, massive third wave, which is my primary expectation. So Bitcoin's already done all that. Bitcoin's already had its third wave. In my opinion, you've had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup. So Bitcoin, as it starts to run out of steam, you'll see this is where the likes of Chainlink, they go more vertical in this sort of end phase than, you know, Bitcoin does, basically. So if we take a look at this particular cycle here as well, you know, this is confluence at this particular point. This was a little alt season, okay, because what we've got, if we zoom out, you can clearly see this is a top for Bitcoin. We came down here, and Chainlink, this is a top for Chainlink at the same time. This came down and bolted, okay, and this came down, made a lower high, but this made a higher high. So that was a telltale sign your alt season's done, basically, and this was the top of the cycle before rolling into an A, B, C correction, okay. So this is what I'm looking for. I don't necessarily see it just yet, but I think that that will be one of the telltale signs going forward, that if we do start to see a follow through here for Bitcoin, it starts to come up like this, and you know, you get your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup, and you start to come up, and that's it, you're creating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 macro waves as well. Then, you know, we're looking at something like this. Chainlink breaks out as its wave for correction, then its final fifth wave, where Bitcoin has its A, its lower high B, and rolls into the correction, and then we see the roll when this begins to roll at Bitcoin's you know, price action. Really, really simple. Don't quite see it yet, which is why I'm not calling the top until I start to see that particular data set play out. But until then, I do think, given the, you know, past cycles and where we are right now in the market, this is why I think that, you know, altcoins are the play going forward. But I'm looking for the invalidation of that. One of the key charts is the total 2 chart, so I'll show you that quickly before I do dive into the Bitcoin price action. I do apologize about looking at different charts and things like that, but I always try and confluence to my analysis. So really simple. At this point here, at the top of that impulsive move, we saw a high for Bitcoin, we saw a high for Chainlink. Then we've seen a lower high for Bitcoin, and we've seen a high high for Chainlink. We don't see that structure just yet, which is a major sign to the top, okay, before a massive correction. So this is what I'm looking for in comparison of both charts. Let me show you the total 2 chart right now, which has got me incredibly bullish for altcoins going forward, okay? So taking a quick look at the total 2 chart and the S&P 500 on the bottom. For those people who've been with the channel for a very long time, and I'm sorry I'm not on the Bitcoin content just yet, but I am trying to be as thorough as I can in my analysis. And for those people that have been with the channel for a very long time, they will know that this is what I do, basically. So total 2 is the entire cryptocurrency market cap excluding Bitcoin. Now this particular chart here is why I'm incredibly bullish on altcoins, okay, because I'm going to show you something that towards the end of the last cycle in November, this is typically what we see, an acceleration of altcoins, okay? So you're coming up, you're going sideways, oh, you're not quite breaking out, and all of a sudden, over a matter of weeks, look at the time frame, it was November 2017. We was getting that trigger point in the retail top. What happened? Boom, we went vertical, okay? We went absolutely vertical. At that point, we started to come back down, and this is where, if you take a look, this is January in 2017. Let me zoom out, okay, and I'll drop the Bitcoin price action in for you. You clearly see that the ticker and the indication that we got was exactly the same as we got at the top of the cycle in 2021. So Bitcoin made the high, came down in the correction in total to basically the altcoins, then the altcoins made that higher high, which is where Bitcoin didn't. So that was the top of a run of an impulsive move way back there in 2017, and we had a trigger point right on cue, and I think it was November, wasn't it? We're looking at November trigger point with the retail top. So this is what I'm looking at, and look at the, you know, the quick acceleration of the altcoins going sideways. Oh no, it's not breaking out, and all of a sudden over a matter of weeks we see that. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a big vertical in, you know, the total chart and equally the Bitcoin chart towards the end of its cycle. But one thing we want to see is this comparison here towards the end of the impulse, basically to say, okay, the market's cool, we're over, we're done. Where Bitcoin makes the high, comes back in the A, makes a lower high B, and rolls into the big correction. But altcoins in the total 2 chart looks like that, where it comes down and it makes the higher high against the A wave, basically. Really, really simple. You know, that's what we got at the top of that impulse. And if we go back here in 2021, this is exactly what we got here as well. So there's the top of the impulse of Bitcoin, comes back down, makes a lower high. What the altcoin's doing, making the high high. We don't see it yet, but the minute we see that in comparison where we're coming back down, you know, Bitcoin's doing something like this, makes a lower high, and altcoins are absolutely going berserk, then the top's in. Okay, you've got a massive comparison that what happened in the previous 2 impulses to indicate the top, where you get that rotation from Bitcoin into altcoins. It's happening all over again. Don't quite see it yet, okay, which is why I do think there's more room. But the room right now for me is not necessarily in Bitcoin. I think it's in altcoins because of the chart that I'm looking at on total too. So I'll go through that quickly with you. So again, you know, you don't need me to show you. That is something you can look for. All you've got to do is go to plus symbol, drop in the Bitcoin price action, really simple, on total 2 to spot that particular setup, okay, at the top of the impulse. So we've got a major warning shot just there, top of the impulse. We've got a major warning shot just there, top of the impulse. And this is what I'm expecting up here somewhere. When does it happen? I don't know. I've not got a crystal ball. But at that point we see it, I'm out the market on total, okay, on altcoins. Really simple. So let me show you the pattern right now that is confluence of the fact that we may be looking at some kind of acceleration right on cue just there for the altcoins going forward, okay. Let me show you. So the total 2 chart, in my opinion at the moment, I love to trade technical patterns. For those people who have been on the channel for a very long time, we trade a lot of technical patterns on this particular channel, and obviously I always show the invalidation of them particular patterns. You know, so far I think we've got a rinse repeat on Crypto Street of a beautiful inverse head and shoulders pattern here and a cup and handle pattern, okay, on the total 2 chart. So we recently traded this on the S&P 500. You know, for example, way back here we've got the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. We broke out that neckline earlier in the year, and this is why at this point I was relaying to you, I think we've got a clue here that the S&P 500 right now is on the blow off top to the technical target against a herd mentality, you know, and the naysayers that we are looking at a big huge move up on risk this year basically. And so far so good. Like I said to you, S&P front runs, then Bitcoin, and then altcoins, and this is where we are right now. You know, we've got a potential acceleration right towards the end of the cycle where we could get to that huge market cap for the total 2 market cap basically, which is excluding Bitcoin, around about 3.2 trillion. So at the moment we've got the little breakout of the neckline. So I actually think at the moment we've got a beautiful cup and handle pattern here. Come back in the channel like a relay to you. It's a bullish reversal pattern, broke out, back testing neckline. So right now we're looking at some kind of acceleration just like we got just there, and then just like we got just there at the top of that bull run just there as well, that quick acceleration over a matter of weeks. Look at that, the top was in. So this is what I'm looking at. It's very rinse repeat on Crypto Street at the moment, and I'm looking for the invalidation. Really simple. The invalidation, if we start to lose a neckline, roll into this channel, then we've got some kind of bull trap here. You know, this is basically a throwback, and we're not getting this breakout right now, okay. So this is why I think this is a very important chart that we need to pay attention to the future of crypto, in combination with the lower high in Bitcoin and the high in the total 2 right there. That is your top basically. So I'll keep you updated for that going forward. But you know, you can clearly see how quickly this acceleration comes right towards the end of an impulse, and right now that's a technical target. So the technical target on the S&P 500 was been met like a boss. Right now it's going sideways on that target. So if we do get a little bit more of an upheaval on this particular chart, at this point, if this rolls down into the bear, then I think we're cooked in risk. At this point, I will become extremely bearish, okay, and I'll give you all the buyback targets going forward, just using simple technical analysis. So let's dive into the Bitcoin chart right now to see what we can see in the micro time frames, okay. So looking at Bitcoin on a daily time frame, I'm going to zoom in on the 4 hourly in a moment because there is a candlestick formation I've relayed to the CoinsKid crew right there. But going forward, for those people that have been with the channel will know, I'm looking at this ABC, a falling wedge, at this bottom right here, right on cue. I call it a bottom pattern, basically a double bottom. Look at this, boom, broke out. Okay, at this point I flipped incredibly bullish on Bitcoin, and then when we broke this neckline, like I said, through the whole way down, 1 2 3, we'll break on a third point resistance, back test support, boom, go, and boom, we'll run into that resistance, which we did, we'll run into the all-time high, which we did, and then boom, we'll have that correction and break out again. So far so good. But what we're doing right now, we are in 5 waves. So you know, for those people who've been on the channel, we see 5 waves up, 1 2 3 4 5, I'm bearish, 1 2 3 4 5, I'm bearish, and right now we've got a 1 2 3 4 5. I'm becoming bearish here on Bitcoin. Now, it doesn't mean I'm a perma bear, whatever. It just means that I think that this particular move, this 5-wave move, which is an impulse for me, is running out of steam. Okay, so basically from here right now, simple logic tells me that if we are right now, we're getting cooked on Bitcoin, okay, and we're looking at a continuation. We take out the 100k, fantastic. We get to 117k, you're looking at 25%. You get to 150k, you're looking at 66%. You get to that, you know, 200k, you're looking at 114%. Well, I've already done that over the weekend on sand. Okay, this is why at the minute I am finding opportunities in altcoins, and they're absolutely bolting. You know, we've done that in recent times on Cardano, XRP, so on and so forth. So the fruits are in the pudding right now. We're right towards the end of this cycle of a potential final impulsive move, which at best from here, if you're allocating money to Bitcoin, you could be looking at, you know, a double. But we're doing that week in, week out, and days on days on altcoins. This is why I'm spotting them altcoins. I'm posting the Discord right there for the CoinsKid crew, and we're reaping the dividends of them particular posts right now. So going forward, you know, I'm just looking at Bitcoin as a guide to the end of this market. And I think with this 5 waves to the upside, we are nearing the end of this market. Okay, so basically, I'm not perm bear, perm bull, whatever. I'm just relaying the data to you. So going back, beautiful bottom call in late 2022, bottom call in September 2023, bottom call in 24 earlier in September right there, and I relayed that opportunity to you when I come back from America. People saying no way, no way. There was a beautiful diamond bottom pattern. We've met the technical target, and right now I think we're running out of steam on Bitcoin, which is where we typically do begin to run out of steam towards the end of the cycle, and we're looking at potential acceleration in altcoins. So what is the pattern that I've spotted on the 4-hourly time frame for Bitcoin? Let me zoom in right now and show you, okay? So looking at Bitcoin then, we may have a reversal candlestick formation here. It's called Three White Soldiers. Now I did update the CoinsKid crew this morning on this particular setup basically. So we have printed that where each body of the candle is greater than the previous one. So how powerful is that particular candlestick formation? So if we go back in time, I think there's an example of one just there. Previous body is bigger, retrace, boom, breakout. And if we go back in time, I'm sure there was another one somewhere that we traded just there. Look, candle body, boom, breakout, back to see you later. So there's been two of them particular candlestick formations, which has been a very strong guide as to the bottom of the correction right there. But going forward, what we need to do is just be really patient. We need to see some kind of reversal signature pattern at this particular level of resistance. Typically, we look for, you know, ascending triangles or double bottoms or Adam and Eve bottoms. Basically, where it comes like this, rounds off, oh no, it's going to zero, and then breaks out back to see you later. So we're looking for the completion of this correction. I think we'll need to see it in a reversal, a signature reversal pattern going forward for Bitcoin. So I wish it most luck, but to accompany this potential reversal right at the bottom, what we do have is a bullish divergence on the 4-hourly time frame. So we're coming down like this. We've got lower lows in the index, and then we've got higher lows in the RSI. This was equally something that's confluence of this beautiful candlestick formation, that this could actually be the bottom, the correction right now. So basically what we've done, if you take a look, when we peaked here in, I think it was 12th of November, we began to create a very, very powerful bearish divergence on the 4-hourly time frame. Got really overbought. Then you've got that key pivot there, which was lower high. Then you've got another lower high, but you're making higher highs in the index. So a very powerful bullish divergence was a clue to this big correction that's come back in, where you've got oversold again, almost oversold. And right towards the bottom, we've got equally a nice little bullish divergence with a potential reversal signature candlestick formation. But if you're not long already, I would actually just be patient, wait for this potential reversal pattern to play out, some kind of ascending triangle like this, and that'll build the confidence and, you know, the probability, okay, we've bottomed there. Then you can start allocating again, build some long positions, and then put your stop loss on the previous pivot low to negate a trade, okay, going forward. So that's basically Bitcoin. I keep you updated on that trade as best I can, but if you're not long already, okay, you could jump into some positions and just put your stop on that pivot low right there, which is roughly at this point in time is $90,666 right there, and then just build your long positions. It's a very minimal risk trade, because from this point, if we do see another impulse of Bitcoin, we could be looking at a minimal 102k, and if we start to push up even greater, you're looking at these fib levels here. So, you know, this is basically trading. So if we drop the long position in right now, from this point right now, you could be looking at a beautiful move of roughly 9.73% for a minimal loss on Bybit or BitGet around about 2.98% going forward. But I think, you know, if you're looking to just be patient, wait for a structural reversal pattern to play out, a possible ascending triangle or Adam and Eve bottom, and at that point it gives a confirmation of a breakout of a bottom pattern. At that point, I think we've potentially got this appreciation in front of us where we break the 100k and push up to these levels here going forward. So I'll keep you updated as best I can. But if you're looking to trade Bitcoin, you know, long, short, whatever, I would highly recommend BitGet or Bybit. The links in the video description. But if you do use leverage, don't be an over leveraged degen, you know, always apply stop loss. This would be a stop loss right now to negate the trade. So over the next few days, if we can do something like this, where you come up and do something like this with Bitcoin, get a nice little reversal pattern in there, then this will increase the probability of the next impulsive move to these levels above. I hope you understand the update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Take care everyone. Back to an update on Bitcoin. Bye bye.